Okay, so today we're going to talk about Jen's been having some problems with her hip flexors bothering her significantly after she does Pilates in particular. So the biggest problem with a lot of people that are dealing with that is you're losing your imprint, or you're going lower than your body can sustain that strong imprint with your core work. So anytime legs are suspended in the air, or open kinetic chain as it's called in Pilates. All right, so we're gonna just work through the proper imprint and making sure that she only goes as low as she can go right now, and a couple of steps that you can use to progress in your practice. So we have a neutral spine to start, okay? So just a nice neutral spine. Hers doesn't have a lot of curvature to it naturally. So there isn't a big space underneath, which is gonna make her imprint a little bit easier for her to get into than if she were more lordotic with a bigger curve in her lower back. So big inhaling in, good. And then on the exhale, you really wanna think of the ribs gliding down, that's great, to the hips, good. So she did not overly tilt her pelvis, because it's not a full flexion. It is just a shortening of the space between the ribs and the hips. And in return, your lower back naturally flattens towards your mat or towards your reformer bed. Good, so this is her nice strong imprint. She's gonna release tension in her upper body, but continue to keep the rib and hip connection strong. So we're gonna test it by bringing the legs into tabletop. So go ahead and keep that imprint. Good, legs are in tabletop. All right, awesome. So now toe taps are one thing that you can do that are a great warm up to make sure that you know how low you can go. Sometimes, you know, different days you can go lower than other days. You gotta be really in tune with your body and your imprint in particular. So without being able to hold your hand underneath your back, you're focusing solely on keeping the ribs as close to the hips as possible. So good, Jen, go ahead and tap one leg down at a time. Good, and then the next. Good, and then one more. Inhale, tap, exhale up, inhale, tap, exhale up. Okay, now shorten the range. Try to pull the belly button into the spine a little bit more. Good, but keep these legs. Good, so the other thing to be mindful of if you're having hip flexor tightness is if your legs are coming in further than 90 degrees, then you're activating solely hip flexors. Okay, so we want to keep them right here at 90 degrees because that's the core that's doing the work, okay? All right, now go just a little bit lower.
Both or one?
Just one, single. Good, and then pull up and stop. Good, and then the other. Up and stop, good. And so when you have someone helping to assist you and spot you, you can actually place your, your middle finger on the bottom of the ribs and then your thumb on the hips and see if that space moves. Okay, do it again. Good, and then other side. Nice, okay, so now we're gonna take it a step further. She's got good hip stabilization there with the single leg. If you don't feel like you have good stabilization there, stay there and continue to work that until you feel good and strong there. So you're feeling no tension here, right? Okay, good. So keeping this rib and hip connection nice and strong, we're gonna try double legs. This is a much heavier lever. So you really wanna be mindful and test the waters of how far you can go without losing this imprint. Good, so inhale, start to tap away. Good, okay, and then exhale, pull it up and stop. Good, inhale, start to tap away. Exhale, bring it up. So we lost it a little bit, good. So nice strong exhale to start. Reset that imprint. Okay, good. And then inhale, start to tap away. Stop. And then exhale, bring it up. Good, all right, good. Go ahead and relax everything down. Good, and windshield wiper the knees back and forth. So, this is an instructor that we have. She's very strong in her core. She does tons of classes. It really doesn't matter how strong you are. If you are overextending and you're losing that rib and hip connection, you're gonna really feel it in your hip flexors.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so much so.
Stairs.
And then yeah.
I think I'm finding myself pulling my bridge too far forward.
Yes, and that was the other thing I was gonna say. Yeah. Pulling those legs past that 90 degrees, you are just completely releasing your abs, letting them have a little break, and hip flexors are taking over completely. And so that's why it's very hard when you do like teasers or anything where the legs are extended, lift and lower. That is so much hip flexor. So that's why starting with the toe taps and then moving to the double leg and then moving to extension and then moving to teaser is such a good progression, because you're so much more in tune with how low you can go while keeping that imprint. You can't necessarily feel that in something as strong as a teaser because the hip flexors are so activated already. So that is 100% what I would say to start with. Is just first you just focus on neutral spine to imprint with the feet in a flex position. Then you move into bringing legs into tabletop, single toe taps. Then you move into double toe taps. Then you move into legs extended in the air, lift and lower. Then you go a little bit lower, then you move into a full teaser. So I would keep that progression and see if that makes a big difference in your hip flexors. You're welcome. And last thing, keep that 90 degrees.
Yes.
So the best way to test that is just doing it in front of a mirror.
So watch yourself.
Yeah, because you can't, a lot of times you can't even feel it. You think you're in 90 degrees and you're not. So, all right, good. Great work. Thank you. And hopefully that helps you guys at home.